Okay, I think we are live. We'll give it a minute. Appreciate everybody that is joining over their lunch hour. You know, wherever you're at, maybe morning if you're on the West Coast. But we're excited that you're here. I'm excited about this topic, Ryan. I think when Microsoft made this announcement, we all kind of went, "They did what?" And,
For sure,
uh,
for sure, absolutely.
yeah, very
I
very
mean,
excited.
just from the cost perspective, I mean,
Yeah, we've got a slide in here that we'll cover. We try not to PowerPoint you to death, but holy cow, there's some. Microsoft wants you to use the AI. That's that's for sure. Let's see. We'll give it one more minute, and then we'll get going.
is my background my messy desk or
I kind of
is
hope
it?
it's your messy desk.
Yeah, it says that I've got it's like the little office, but all I see is my messy desk, so I'm a little embarrassed.
I see I see the messy desk, but
Yep. Yep.
you got young kids, I got young kids. So is life, so we
Yep,
can live with that.
for sure.
We'll just majority of the screen anyway is going to be your
Yeah,
you demoing. So
for sure.
let's see. All right, we are just checking one thing real quick, and then I think we will get going. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Well, we're 2 minutes in, so we'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you were here when we kind of kicked this thing off, really appreciate everybody taking the time joining us over your lunch hour. If you're on the East Coast, or for breakfast if you're on the West Coast, or anywhere in between. If this is your first time here, for those that don't know us, my name is Taylor Greiner. I'm the Director of Innovation here at US Signal. Really kind of leading our R&D efforts and the new products that we bring to market. And I am thrilled to be joined with Ryan McDonald. Ryan, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, solutions architect here with US Signal. Do everything Microsoft related, whether licensing. I know everybody loves talk licensing these days. So implementations, all things AI these days as well. So appreciate y'all
Perfect.
hopping on today.
Yeah, and today's kind of a really exciting topic. It was a little over a year ago or so. I can't remember the exact date when Microsoft announced Copilot for security, right, or Security Copilot, and we all kind of collectively went, "Wow!" Right? Like, if that thing does what it says it does, and we're starting to see a lot of that, really play out, that's going to be amazing for an organization. But then we saw the price.
Yep. I mean, for months it was, I'm so excited to look at this, and then something neat would come out like Intune Copilot. Oh, sweet, let's dive into that. Oh, backed by Security Copilot, and just the cost was just never something we could get anybody on board with.
Exactly. But now they made some changes. Microsoft made some changes in November that really make this accessible. You may already even have it if you don't know it, and we're going to talk through those. But before we dive into that, I really like to start every call just with a focus on US Signal and our operations anywhere mentality. Right. Today we're talking about Microsoft and Copilot, but as a portfolio of the organization, we really try to make sure that we can support your operations anywhere, whether it's on-prem all the way up through the hyperscalers or anywhere in between, colo, private cloud. We have a product portfolio and solutions that can meet your needs. And so I won't sell to death too much on this, but always like to make sure we call that out. So we are here to talk Microsoft Security Copilot. And I think for a lot of people, we saw the initial announcement, we saw it was expensive, kind of like we had talked about. And so, maybe didn't dive into it the way we would with other products that we're actually going to use. So Ryan, can you kind of hit on, what does Security Copilot really even give us, right? Before we dive into the demo.
Yeah. So when it comes to all things AI, it's that basic question when somebody's like, "What can AI do for me?" Or, "Man, AI is going to be so cool, but how can I make this work for my organization?" And really, Microsoft tries to sell Security Copilot as a way to automate and help your SOC team when it comes to whether we're looking through vulnerabilities or quickly looking through an incident that may have happened. But my opinion is just ways to make your job easier. I have lived into Microsoft Defender, lived in Microsoft Purview, and when it comes to trying to find an incident or maybe looking through an email phishing attack, before Security Copilot, before AI, man, that was your day. That was
Extensive.
looking through
We've
all
all
the
lived there.
different logs, and you spend your entire day to whip it up to. There was probably something I can't quite say what it was, but now being able to use these types of tools to get you those answers within minutes, seconds even sometimes. So,
Awesome. No, that sounds good. And I think that's the exciting thing for this tool for me is that it just expands, the different products that are in the Microsoft suite that we use every day, right? We are, every organization, especially, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it, 99% of anybody that we talk to heavy into Entra, right? I mean, that is their identity. A large number of organizations leverage the Microsoft Defender suite, and then Intune for that, and the management. So,
and I think
and Purview.
And even to your point, Taylor, some people will look at this of, well, Security Copilot sounds awesome, but I don't extensively use Defender. I don't extensively use Purview. I might have a third-party product there. Totally fine. But from, like you were saying, most people have Entra, right? We're seeing more and more people adopt Intune. So you could have something else, but then just being able to still use Security Pilot for your users reviews, the agents there in Entra. More and more agents are coming out from Intune. So those perspectives might still make it worth it of looking into it.
Yeah, perfect. So, again, we'll get to the demo here momentarily, but we really just want to make sure, again, that people do understand there were some major changes that Microsoft made in November, right? So, like E5 Security Copilot is a part of that, but I wanted to put up here just this grid of what is available to you now, kind of based on your license, right? And so it does take us all the way through the business basic, through the E5, and these changes are for the E3, the E5. They did it for the enterprise suite. But Ryan, we've talked to a lot of customers about the Intune suite, and that was always kind of a separate license that you needed to get a lot of these features and functionality. Real quick, can you hit on, what are you most excited about now beyond just Security Copilot that's been included, in either the E3 or the E5?
Yeah. Really, one big thing to call out across even E3, E5, or the rest of business suite and the Office suites is the Copilot chat enhancements. So come July, when these announcements come out or these feature sets come out, Microsoft's really trying to push Copilot for 365 for all your users. Really, US Signal being a partner, we'd love you for make that spend, right? But at the same time, it's going to be overkill for a lot of these users. But just Copilot chat without being able to look, the new enhancements allow you to look through your inbox, look through your OneDrive, without having to pay for that $30 a month for those users. That's been, to me, one of the bigger pieces besides Security Copilot. And then with from an E3 perspective, always been a struggle for me of trying to push business premium to E3 without, and now they lose Defender for Office. So that was a big piece there. Defender for Office being now included on E3.
Yep.
And then
that was a major conversation that we had.
Yep. And then the Intune Cloud Suite. that's just being able to have those pieces there without. They're great feature sets, but man, $10 a month per user was always just a hard sell for
It
anybody.
added up, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
well, we've consistently hit on, hey, when they rolled this out, it was expensive, right? So like when we say it was expensive, what did we actually mean, and what kind of value are you getting now, right? Because I think that really hammers this home, how much Microsoft is wanting users to leverage these tools, right? So from a pricing perspective, Security Copilot is sold in Security Copilot units, right? Or these SCUs, or a SKU.
I hate that they call them SKUs because it makes
I
it
know.
like, wait, what's I know what a SKU it really is, but
yeah, right. Even when we were putting this together, just naturally, I was writing out SKU, and you're like, hey, no, that's. But they've priced this scaled on 400 SKUs, compute units per 1,000 users, and then it scales proportionally. So you can kind of see here, if you have less than 1,000 users, say you have 400, you're going to get 40% of that. You're going to get 160 SKUs. If you have 4,000, you get 4 times that. You get 1,600 SKUs, and then they max you out at the 10,000. So we put together this little table that you can see here, just the value you may be getting if you already have this and not even realize, right? So for 10 E5s, you're going to get 4 SKUs just in the scale model. 4 of the Security Copilot units has a value of $11,680 a month, right? Now, before this, we'd see that number, and I mean, that's hard to justify, right? Microsoft's original intent was like, hey, you can, effectively add, it's another person, it's another, salary. Like, you need to think of it that way. And that's really hard to stomach. I honestly, I don't know of any organization that we worked with that pulled the trigger on that model, right?
Just because you're not only having to lose an employee, you gain an employee from an enhancement perspective, but still your employees learning it and figuring it out as you go. So
yeah, and I think for any AI tool, built around these LLMs right now, no matter how good they say, you still need that validation piece, right? You need that human in the loop. You need somebody to confirm. Really excited at the pace at which it gets us information. I would argue for anybody from any company or any tool, we're probably not quite there yet for full automation decision making off of these tools, right? Just because it doesn't have context, but we're getting close, and it's getting really scary how good these things are. But beside the point, now, if you have 100 E5 users, I mean, we have customers that have 500, 600, 700 E5s, right? If you have 100 E5s, you get 40,000 of these security compute units at $116,000 a month in value. Microsoft is saying, hey, use this stuff, right? We've made these massive investments in AI. We want our customers to take advantage of these tools. So
it sounds
Ryan,
too good to be true.
Honestly, I know
it's hard. Like, if
but
people are like,
we're playing around with it in our lab.
What's the catch, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, people ask me what the catch is all the time. My only thing I could say is Microsoft really wants you on E5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and at this, and to Taylor's point too, it's not where all of your users have to be on E5 for Security Copilot to act upon them or anything like that. So I know historically that's been like, well, do all of our users need Defender for Office Plan 1? It's more to the point of those users just having the licenses get you those security compute units, whether they're
it's more the broad tenet, review. So Ryan, can you kind of speak a little bit to that bottom table that we have there, right? So Microsoft has said, this is now available, but maybe this hasn't rolled out everywhere yet. Can you kind of speak to the rollout schedule that they have?
Yeah. So if you had a SKU, a security compute unit and M365 E5 before the announcement. Now moving forward, you wouldn't need those capacity units anymore. How many licenses you had times 0.4 is how many SKUs you have today. So that immediately as of November 18th last year. Moving forward, after that, there's a phased rollout where if you have E5 licenses today but no prior SC units, you should receive a 30-day advance notification. Kind of something I was talking to Taylor before this. I'd love if you have received the email, if you let us know. I've just been interested if people have actually been getting the emails or if it's still kind of delayed and getting rolled out further. So, and then if you didn't have E3 or you didn't have E5, but you're looking to go to this, if you make that purchase, you will receive that 30-day notice as well once the provisioning goes out. What I've heard is that after the phased rollout, that last piece will be moved to you buy an E3, automatic provision will happen right away without the 30-day notice. But I think it's just Microsoft still trying to get things rolled out there.
Perfect.
Well, other thing just to call out here is just if you're wondering, okay, how many security compute units, things like that, it's really just going to be a test of what you're trying to use Security Copilot for. Just remembering that that number, anything below 1,000 is just times your licenses by 0.4, gets you how many SKUs you're going to have there.
Perfect. Well, as you may have noticed with my misclick, that is our last slide. This is more PowerPoint than we usually like to do on these, but I think the information, really wanted to frame up that if you have the E5s, you have this now, or you're going to have it real soon, and it's worth exploring. So I am going to stop the PowerPoint, and Ryan, I'm going to hand over the screen share to you to demo the actual Security Copilot.
Yeah.
You get to see this thing live and in action.
Get this here.
Let's see.
Make sure everybody can see my screen.
Oh, that was on me. I needed to add you to the stage. So
there we go.
I am amateur, I don't know, DJ or
yep. You're all good.
IT tech, AV tech, but all you men.
So getting into Security Copilot, just securitycopilot.microsoft.com brings you in here. You're going to have your basic dashboard showing your list of agents that are available to you, prompt books. Something we won't dive into today a whole lot, but just to make sure you're aware is you can start even maybe building your own Security Copilot agents here. When it comes to those capacity units we were talking, or compute units we were talking about before, this is where you can do a little bit of your monitoring of your units. One thing I did want to call out would be if you were to go over on those units that you have, that's when you would still go back to now you're paying for those pay as you go. So it's not just going to cut you off. You can set that up to cut off, but just wanted to call out that piece there. And then from there, you can set up different workspaces, whether you want to keep separate workspaces for certain or departments in your organization, or we're going to set up workspace for Intune, workspace for Entra, workspace for Purview and Defender.
Hey Ryan, real quick, can we try and zoom in a little bit?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, maybe go in one more. Yeah, I know that's not maybe ideal to scroll around, but I think that for our viewers, is that a little easier to read? I think we got a comment that it was a little blurry, so we'll try and make that better. All right, let's keep going.
Yep. So right here at your home station, you're going to see your list of prompts that you can try. You can look up application assignments, cloud guidance. Just do a quick one here, just see what it gets us.
And what was this one? List best practices for implementing zero trust. Okay.
Yep. So this one, pretty straightforward, something that you could just honestly even just ask your Copilot agent, but some of the stuff that they list there. Then some more of the fun items that we can get into are, rather than just the prompts themselves, the agents that can run on their own. And there's a whole list of these. We've got, from an Intune perspective, a change review agent, or a policy configuration agent. I've got one of these set up, so we'll go take a peek here. So if you're familiar with Intune, when it comes to your policies and trying to monitor if maybe something has changed, or look through what exactly is pushing out with that policy, rather than looking through all your different policies, that's what this agent can do for you. And also, this can be something where I want to push out a new policy, but I don't know where everything is. So we can create a test here. We're going to push out Wi-Fi. Knowledge source here could be where I'm going to give it even more detail, where maybe I'm pushing out a Cisco.
Ryan, sorry to interrupt.
I need to zoom back in. Sorry.
Yeah, zoom in just a little bit.
Thank you.
Keep hitting full screen mode. All right, perfect.
Whether it was you had a knowledge source for pushing out Cisco or Fortinet, something along those lines, that's where we can add those knowledge sources here. And then from here on the instructions, I can say create a policy that pushes Wi-Fi for Windows devices, WPA2. You can add a document if maybe you've had your own settings on something here as well, that it can use to source off ground. Let that run there.
Good.
While that's going, also talk here about, there's a couple other agents that come out of the box for Intune. There's our change review agent. This one, I probably won't see as much adoption, but maybe as folks get more involved, of anytime we're making changes in Intune, that's going to go to like an approval request or things like that. That's where that change review agent is going to come into play. This one has been interesting as well, the device offboarding agent. So if you're familiar with Intune, there's a setting in there where after 90, you can set your days of, after X amount of days, that now it will just get rid of the device. But there's been times where the device just sits in Entra and doesn't actually get removed from Intune. That's where this agent can run on your behalf when you're working that through. So
perfect.
From timing sake, I didn't have that one built up. So, but yeah, going to check that other one here.
Okay.
Yep. So it's giving us our AI summary here. User requested policy to push Wi-Fi profile to Windows devices using WPA2 security. Approach system interpreted the request.
So it allows us to review kind of what its instruction set is going to be.
Yep. So it gives us our manual Wi-Fi configuration. Gives you a little bit of confidence score just for fun here. I'm going to create the policy and see what it gets us. As you can imagine, you're going to need to put a little bit more information in there from the aspect of if you're doing any certificates or passwords, things along those lines, you'll have to push that in there. But more to come on these pieces. Again, a little bit of help there from an Intune perspective, but
yeah, perfect.
What were you saying, Taylor?
You know, if we hit next and we kind of walk through this will then leverage any of this will allow us to, you know, leverage Copilot with the additional information.
Correct. Yep.
And we didn't give it any groups, so it, you know, it needs that context.
Correct. Yep. From my lab, I didn't have ads much set up there, so but.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, there are, besides just some of the Intune agents, there's a lot of different partners that are working on their own agents as well that can integrate. Trying to think some of the.
I mean, even just some of the names we're seeing there as you scroll, right?
Yep. Blue Voyant has been a big player on that perspective. Anybody looking at Sentinel and those perspective of things, F5 was a big one that's been getting included there as well. Trying to see if there was another one there. Tanium has been another big one, which I found funny because Tanium does a lot what Intune does, but they can also, it includes a lot more of the security pieces in there. So being able to tie that in with your Security Copilot as well. So if there's any Tanium customers out there, that's been I've seen a lot of big adoption there on that piece as well.
Awesome. So, you know, when we were talking before this, right, you had kind of some of your history there that you see, you know, it was Copilot was actually going and getting information out of the environment. Can we dive into some of those, you know, capabilities, just some examples of stuff, even that you did playing around in the lab as we, you know, kind of work towards this?
Yep. So that's kind of the other piece with the agents or moving on from the agents is within Security Copilot that we have what you can imagine is a prompt book. So historically, if maybe an incident came in, maybe you had a run book, or what do we all need to do from now that this incident has happened? What can we do to go investigate that? That's what these out-of-the-box prompt books are doing for you. So if we're trying to look at maybe an incident that came in, rather than you manually having to go through all the different prompts to put that in here, we can go get one of our incidents that happened here. Just put in that incident ID, hit submit, and it's going to go through all those different prompts.
I was muted. So if we drop those down, right, and it just clicking those kind of show, you know, chain of thought as it's happening.
Yep. So this first one here is summarize the defender incident, incident 89. So it's going to walk through. It's a high severity incident. It gives you the title, what had happened. Then from there, tell me more about the entities associated with that incident. Looks like it was a mailbox linked to a certain account. Creation time, no remediation actions were assigned. Gives you the reputation of the IP address, any authentication methods that maybe have been set up for the user.
All right, one more time. Can you zoom in on this?
Yep. Sorry.
No, you're good. I think as we jump around tabs, it changes up. So
I'll give it one more.
Perfect. Man, you know, I know you and I have both been a part of these types of incidents, right? How much time is this saving, being able to have Copilot just go look at everything and build out kind of that chain of information versus having to go manually find all this yourself?
and just building that new workflow as you're going through, and rather than, all right, now everybody's got to scramble, we've got to go figure it out. As much as everybody strive to, all right, we're going to build that run book, how often was that run book maybe changing? And when you're in a
Updated.
when you're in a stressful time, it's okay, well, we're just trying to get everything figured out. But if we can build this more into an automation flow of when these things happen, we know what to do by just having to do a couple of clicks and then getting all of our information there. And two, one of the pieces that I liked about this was writing an executive report. How many times when you do the investigation, you're so tired trying to figure all that out, and now you've gotten past it, but now you still need to write that executive report. Being able
The
to just
non-technical pieces of the job.
right, yeah. What happened, impact, response, conclusion, those pieces there. So
Perfect. Yeah, I think this prompt book functionality itself, especially if you have the E5s, is really where organizations should start to take a look at how can they leverage these things.
Yes. Let's see if we can do another one here. So in the security world, when you're trying to figure out maybe a CVE that's come out and what kind of impact might that have on my organization. So one of the more recent ones, Microsoft Office had a 0 day. So just by entering the CVE here.
Ryan, real quick, we just got a message in the chat while this is running through. If I go to security.copilot.com and it's prompting me to set up in my tenant and purchase units, can I assume it is not yet available to us?
Correct. Yep.
Yep. And then
my question would be whether you had, I'm going to guess you didn't have security units before. And so if you have E5, it would be kind of making sure you've gotten that activation email.
Yep. And then they're doing the staged rollouts over time. So if you don't have it yet, it'll be here.
They're saying mid 2026. So I'd say we're still
finalize those rollouts.
Yep.
Yeah, and we don't have insight into the priority list, I guess, right? Of how they're deciding who gets it when.
If I had to make a guess, it's going to be highest number of licenses to lowest number of licenses. But
I would start the other way, just start really ramping up usage. But I get it.
That makes sense, right? Don't have to push out as many SKUs, I suppose. But
well.
All right, so back to this vulnerability assessment, giving you a lot more detail on that CV, shows you your impact of your applications, if there's any threats that were found from it. But the nice part here would be it shows you how you can work through it manually. But trying to find where, sorry, that used to be at school. Here.
There was a question in the chat just while you're looking for that. Is there a difference between the E5 licensing and the G5 licensing? And the G5 is the government SKUs, right? So we know there's a difference. There are different SKUs, but Ryan, have you seen anything on if the G5 SKUs are also getting the same Security Copilot access?
As of right now, they are not.
Okay.
I feel like when it comes to certain things like this, auto patch was one of them that when it first got released, it was only for E3, E5 customers, and then slowly got rolled out to the rest of them. But as of right now, that is the case for that. Is it's just E5 right now.
Okay. I'm sure we'll see that evolve, over the next year or so. But good to know for now.
Yep. So yeah, that's about the gist of what I had today. Some of these aren't working as well as I was hoping for in my lab, but when it comes to really
that's the fun part about trying to demo security tools in a lab environment, that we don't have a lot of the day-to-day traffic and activity that we would in a production environment. But I really hope, as people watch this, right, you start to explore and kind of run with, hey, as we have these tools available to us, how can we start to integrate those into our organization, right? We've seen these prompt books, we've seen what we can give it, and the extent at which it will go and identify that information. We've seen the agents, all really, really powerful stuff.
And it's, in my opinion, we're still in a little bit of its infancy with the agents and things like that, but just how much it's going to continue to grow. And so I would tell you, if you have them and you're starting to get once the activations start coming out, really start playing with it. Understand the prompt books, how those can help you, and even if it's just getting enabled for Intune. And even so, how the SKUs work, even if you haven't quite gotten the E5 activation yet, is you could go do some testing just for a couple hours, and you only get charged it's $4 per hour per SKU.
Pay as you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So something just to test out there as you get going along. But again,
Ryan, I'm going to audible you real quick.
Yeah.
And below prompt books, I think it's the builder SKU in preview. I kind of want to see. I want to watch this, right? Because this really plays into like their agent builder.
Yeah.
We did a webinar on that a couple of months ago. That create an alert triage agent to help prioritize important alerts. Like let's walk through that. Let's see what that does. This may or may not go well for the
Taylor
audience.
loves living on the edge.
But hey,
yeah.
Everyone, if you roll this out yourself, it's stuff you'd run into. So let us find the issues for you.
Yep. So to proceed.
A few clarifications. Which security products? I don't know. Do we have Defender in the lab?
Yep. So
Perfect.
We'll do Defender for Office, Defender for Endpoint.
Let's start there. I can live with that.
Should the agent use existing skills?
I would just use existing skills.
It's fine.
Yeah, severity, let's not even give it a specific. I want it to make a decision. So yeah, exactly. Best suggestion. The one fun thing about these LLMs, they're getting faster, is the dead silence that happens as we sit and read the output.
Right. Yes.
You never know. Non-deterministic systems. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yep. Hey.
All right. Okay, so it built us an alert triage agent.
A lot of stuff here, but let's just go ahead and publish it. We'll do everybody. Go to agents. Here it is, alert triage agent.
What query information is it asking for?
Severity, entity type, alert type.
If you put in severe, or can you leave it blank?
High. Looks like I can leave it blank. Let's see.
Okay.
I'll maybe Do high, you said?
Yeah. Okay. Ready to use. Okay. Yeah. So kicking off the one time because we've, we I don't know what the output of this is going to be. That's how
Nope.
live this is.
Yep.
But through the agent process, right? It's always really cool to see how it's able to use the tools and the documents and the different things to create this, right? So, I mean, you could even see there one of the tools was like the Microsoft XDR. Let's see, high severity
Like
incidents. Okay, so
yeah, it says it's in progress. I'm just waiting for it to finish.
if we scroll down, just kind of the information on the left, right? So if we slowly scroll that, so start at the top and we'll kind of work our way down. So, this really gets into the agent builder, again, that we've demoed in the past, but okay, so it gave us a name, it gave us a trigger. Okay, so we've just got this just to run manually. So this wouldn't have an automatic trigger.
No, yeah, we probably could have put something there at the beginning for that, but
For sure. Yeah, and that's fine. If we scroll down, what else does it give us? Permissions, no permissions needed. It's using your identity.
one thing I'd make a note about the identity is with the agents, and you guys will start seeing this in your tenants. The joke for 2026 or 2025 was AI, the year of AI, plus all the previous years, right? But 2026 is the year of AI agents. Now, with that is the security of the identity of the agent. So we're obviously just running a test here. Wouldn't recommend your agents running off of a service account. Entra is introducing their agent managed identities. So just something to make.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot more on that over the coming months for sure.
Yep.
This is the part that excites me though, right? Like we look at the plugins, right? And we said, hey, here's what we want to do. And Microsoft, the agent builder went out and it said, okay, I know that I need this plugin to, execute on this request. Man, Ryan, how many times in the past have we gone through like the connector library and played around with tools to be like, is this going to solve my need? Is this one going to solve my need? Now, oh man, now we've just, we're like, hey, I want to do this. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go grab the specific plugin, specific connector that you need. And immediately, you're off to the races.
Yep.
That's been a big thing with this stuff.
And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's foolproof. There might be where you have to it's all about the prompt, right? So moving forward, if you're giving it something you're not quite getting that right plugin, understanding, maybe I need to adjust my prompt a little bit. So.
Yep, absolutely.
So
okay.
Our agent was successful. We got our high severity.
And that was that test Ryan incident that you had created that we saw in the prompt book that got called out.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So there's consistency, which I think is always good anytime you're dealing with AI. Is that, because these are non-deterministic systems, right? If I say, tell me a story to an LLM, I'm gonna get different stories every single time, right? And that's where it's really important as you start to leverage AI, start to leverage these tools that exist, these frameworks, that Microsoft is putting out there that allow us to have confidence in the results that come back from these LLMs, from Copilot, from these agents that are powered by these generative AI LLMs. So, really exciting to see that, that they've got that in place.
So I did another test of the query doing high and then also medium.
Okay.
So now we're getting even more results coming in there. One thing I wanted to make note too with the agents is, while this was just a manual one, looking at the automated pieces, so you could have an agent that is going to search for the alerts, and then you could have a remediation agent. I know that probably sounds scarier than it should be, but being able to have the alert agent now call the remediation agent to now go out and remediate those incidences, or send out an approval to your SOC team of, okay, this is ready to remediate, hit submit, there you go.
Perfect. Yeah, man, every time we play around with these things, with the Copilot platform, with any of the agent builders, Security Copilot, like, it always blows my mind. Just even where it was a couple months ago to where it is now. I mean, it is no secret the amount of money that Microsoft and other companies are pumping into these AI platforms, right?
And that's, you hit a great point too. I'm sure everybody's had their moment where they're frustrated with AI or even Microsoft Copilot. And, I just don't think this is going to be worth it for me. Maybe at the time, absolutely can understand that, but just understanding this stuff is going to continually get better and better and better. And the best thing I can tell you is just to get on the train, start understanding it, so that way it could be tomorrow all of a sudden, and now it has something that is going to really work for your organization. And
it's no secret. Yeah, it's no secret. I'm a huge nerd. I love this technology. I'm probably over optimistic in a lot of its capabilities, just because I feel like I see the value, and in my own life I have made the value. But again, to your point, a lot of people have had run-ins where they're like, hey, AI isn't there, I'm going to write it off. It's getting good. We had just a town hall yesterday across the entire US Signal organization. And as an organization, we are looking at where can we leverage AI to make the customer experience better, to make us more efficient, drive product innovation, all of that across every aspect of our organization, because we are true believers that this stuff is powerful. And we're not going to be reckless with it, right? We're not going to say, hey, an AI chatbot is now your help desk interaction, and you never get to talk to a human, right? We're not going to do that. But we are, remediation efforts, right? Like, ticket comes in, as that ticket comes in, can the help desk have, potential remediation steps right away, right? We're looking at exploring tools like that. And, both in the customer experience and internally, Security Copilot is something that we're exploring, we're looking at. I'm really excited.
And you hit it on the head there too. Even a whatever ticketing system you have, to start those conversations with that vendor of, hey, I've got Security Copilot. I want to figure out a way that we can get our ticketing system to talk with Security Copilot. That way, if things come in, agent runs to kick off either a remediation piece to that, or runs the prompt booked from that, something along those lines.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we've got about 12 minutes left. I love pulling these things up and just kind of demoing it, and it's very real, because I think that's the best way to showcase capabilities. If we had a very refined demo where we kind of clicked only in spots we knew were going to work, I'm not a fan of watching those. So I prefer and enjoy this format for sure.
One other piece before we open up for QA I wanted to call out too is the Entra agents. They have, out of the box, they've got their 3 here: conditional access optimization agent, identity risk management agent, and access review agent. The 2 I want to call out for most customers are these 2 here. Unfortunately,
hey, can you zoom in real quick?
Yes, thank you for the call out.
This page is okay. There you go.
I'm not able to demo this today, unfortunately, but something that, as you guys are getting Security Copilot enabled, I've seen plenty of videos on this where conditional access can be very daunting as you start adding more and more policies to it. And it's not a set it and forget it piece by any means. Something that was best practice yesterday, now that's conditional access policy might not be the best practice moving forward. So that's where this optimization agent will go through, and if you have certain policies that are duplicate, adding on to that processing time will help with those pieces there. Or if you just have an idea of I need to build out a conditional access policy, but I'm not quite sure what I need to do in the settings, being able to chat with the agent and do that piece there.
Awesome.
And then with your risky users, risky sign-ins, that's where this other agent comes into play, is being able to get further details into your risky users rather than just the logins from those pieces as well. So,
nope, that's great feedback. All right. I think we'll probably wrap up kind of what gets demoed. Let me bring us actually back up on stage. Oh, you removed yourself from the stage completely, but I brought you back. So, okay. Well, with that, we've got a few minutes left. If there's any questions in the audience, go ahead and throw it in the chat. Otherwise, Ryan and I, if you're not connected with us on LinkedIn, absolutely send a connection request. We are always happy to talk about this stuff. If you've got Security Copilot questions, if you have any Microsoft related questions, Ryan is an expert in this. He is top notch. If you just want to talk, we're proud of you. If you want to just talk AI in general, right? Like, hey, Ryan and I love this stuff. We message each other in the evenings. Have you seen this? Have you played around with this? We're really high on this space. And so if you want to just talk AI in general, questions, comments, any, somebody to bounce ideas off of, like, we're here, and I'll talk to a wall about AI. That's how excited I am about this stuff.
Yep. As you can imagine, we can annoy some people internally, but
that's okay. That's why they stick us together to do these things, because they know we're going to enjoy it. So
Yep.
We'll give it a minute on any questions. But
definitely link up with us on LinkedIn too. I'm not like the best on LinkedIn of sending out posts or anything like that, but what I do love is if we're connected, I try to keep people in the loop for Microsoft updates and things like that. I connect with a ton of Microsoft MVPs and can't recommend that enough. There's just a whole world of information out there from people sharing, and I feel like we're finally getting back into open sharing, letting people, it's not coveting all that knowledge, being able to share the wealth. And
yeah, absolutely. Well, Ryan, I'm not seeing any questions. If they come in kind of after we wrap up, we will, we'll reach back out. But I want to thank everybody for taking the time to spend the hour with us. You could be doing anything else, and you were here watching Security Copilot demos. So we appreciate that. Like we said, one last time, connect on LinkedIn if you haven't. We're always excited to talk about that stuff. So, Ryan, any parting words?
Enjoy the weekend, everybody.
Enjoy the weekend. Thank you, everybody. Before we wrap up, our plan with these is the last Friday of every month. So we've got kind of the next 6 months of topics out, planned internally. We will, start to post these as we're ready to roll them out. But you can plan on, if it is the last Friday of every month, noon Eastern, Ryan and Taylor will be on this call talking different Microsoft aspects. So we're excited to have you join us for those. And with that, we will go ahead and
one more point to Taylor's is, if there's something that you're wanting to see more of, we'd love to.
Oh, yeah.
We've got our stuff, but if there's stuff that you guys are really wanting to see more of, we're very happy to look into that and see if we can get something set up.
Absolutely. All right. Third time's a charm. I'm going to wrap this up.
Midwestern, goodbye.
That's right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Friday.